You're listening to Forever and Ever, the Kelly Fans Podcast with me, Paul Montgomery.
Me, Callum Michael Scott.
Subscribe in all your usual places for your weekly slice of Kelly content. Hello everybody and welcome back to Forever and Ever, the Kelly Fans Podcast. It's episode number 7 of season 5 and we're coming to you from Limelight Studios where there's an air of celebration tonight. Stu is 40 years old today, the man behind the camera, the man that makes all this happen. Many happy returns to you, Stu. Happy birthday.
Thanks, guys.
From us to you and every Kelly fan who loves this podcast. It's all down to you. So thank you so much, man. It's great to have a third member of the team now, because back in the day it was just me, Paul Alexander Montgomery, and the man in the iron mask sitting across the road from me. He was at the Edinburgh Festival with Slaney yesterday. It's Callum Michael Scott. Alright, son?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thought you were talking about a third member entering the 40s there, and I was wondering who the other one was, but
no,
talking about the podcast in general, because you've now got somebody I can
relate to a bit better.
Trauma dump with.
Exactly. That's the plan later on. Talk about CITV and all that, right? We'll sit in the corner. But it's been a bit of a slow week, Kelly-wise. Feels like not as much to rush through the night, so we could maybe get to know each other a bit better. I don't know how you feel about that.
We should maybe couple of wee questions, man, personal questions.
Aye.
That's not non-food related for a change kind of thing, because I think everybody's well aware of what our food habits and all the rest of it are now.
They are.
Given that we get questions in that every week, so I'm happy to go as deep as you want, man.
How was your day at the Edinburgh Festival yesterday? And tell the viewers and listeners what you were up to.
I was actually excellent, to be fair. So Matthew was playing at the Fringe at the Pear Tree. He's had a few gigs at the Fringe this year, and given wasn't sure whether the Hibs game was going ahead or if it was going to get moved to the Sunday, or if they get through or whatever, it was getting postponed. So we kind of made the last minute decision that, given we had the free weekend, to go up and surprise them, man. So I got a few of the boys come up as well, 7 or 8 years. So
good.
It was a cracking day, and then it turned out during the set the biggest podcast in the town was there, man.
Excellent.
So Andy Halliday, Cy Ferry and Paul Slane were present as well. Then left straight after Matthew's set, so well, that's a good or a bad thing, I don't know.
They probably knew they couldn't get anything better.
Well, that's actually what I meant, isn't it? They sat and you could see them singing along to a few tunes, which was quite cool.
Good.
But then the minute Matthew finished, they were away.
The Three Amigos, the standard to which all of us Scottish football podcasters are reaching for on a weekly basis.
As well, they've obviously changed the game.
Changed the game, mate, aye. And we're looking to change the game back to where it was like before, maybe 10, 12 years ago, when it was just Willie Miller on the radio on a Saturday afternoon forgetting the Dundee United goalie's name. That's the kind of standard that we're trying to bring back. We're trying to ease it back in, nice and slow.
That's exactly what we're looking for, man.
But we'll talk about the Dundee United game on Saturday, 3 PM kick-off on a Saturday. Welcome.
Rarity.
And then a real busy spell after that, midweek, obviously at home to St Mirren, then away to Aberdeen, and then it's the Cup game against Aberdeen, and then it's Hibs the midweek, and then Hearts.
And then a 3-week break.
So, loads and loads. So, but slightly quieter the night, which maybe isn't a bad thing, because over the next 2 or 3 weeks it'll be 2 or 3 game pods we're doing, because there'll be loads to talk about.
There will be, aye. And again, it's even reflected with the kind of mood, like, even coming tonight, just like in way, again, there's a lack of questions as well this week. We've still got about maybe 20 to get.
Enough to fill the time.
But when we usually hit the heights of 50 odd questions,
half century.
Does feel quiet.
Half a hunter, still a stunner. That's what I want when I'm 50 on a t-shirt. But aye, man. So we've got a game on Saturday against Dundee United. We're toiling a wee bit. Relegation 6-pointer, mate. That's what I'm putting it, don't I?
Already, man. That's what we're hoping for. But it genuinely is, because they've. And again, it maybe says a lot. I still know what to hear this, but I mean, how bad Rangers must be, given the fact that like they get the point in the first game at Tannadice, and folk were thinking, oh well, fair play, and then they've just not kicked a ball since then, really. No. And then obviously beating the Derby as well. So it's a huge game. We've got a good record against them.
They are a good team for us. Certainly since we came back into the league, since this podcast, really. Dundee United feels like the most generous fixture points wise. Am I probably right?
I think it must be. That's
even away from home, our record isn't quite as grim there as elsewhere, isn't it?
Exactly. I think one of the only times I can remember is actually getting beat was that horrific when we get massacred up there on that Wednesday night, man. Remember, what was it? Jordan Jones and Kieran McInroy playing wing back and all the rest of it, and 4-1 at half time or something like that. I think that was the last time, and then ultimately they get relegated that season. We went beat them 3-0 at Tannadice later on. But aye, that's probably one for Kelly Data to have a look at.
Kelly Data was on the Theatre of Pies podcast last night. I haven't actually managed to catch it yet, but I'm sure it was a entertaining listening and watch.
Aye, well, plenty of good content that they put out with the Kelly Data stuff. That's why I'm saying that's definitely one for them to actually look at our points ratios against their top flight teams, because I would agree with you. I think that it probably is fair to say that Dundee United has definitely been our team of late, but watch that come back and bite his arse on Saturday.
Well, that's what normally happens. We do need points, no doubt about it. We spoke quite earlier on in the season and spoke at length about how the fixtures were what they were, and everybody's still getting warmed up to an extent, but we've lost a lot of goals. We got through in the cup, which has changed the mood slightly, but Saturday now feels like the one where you're really, really looking to get 3 points on the board. It just calms everything down. It just cools the kind of temperature slightly. And then with that run of fixtures, honestly, Dave, I know it will still be early doors by the time we get to mid-September and we're breaking for the international games, but you'll get a better idea of where we're going to be, I think, because if you go through the games and you pick up 6-7 points, you go, right, top 6 can happen. Come out of it and you've only picked up 2 or 3. The first stop is don't go down. So big few weeks coming up, and obviously starts on Saturday.
I think you're spot on, because it's just indicative of the modern game now, where everything almost feels like it's on a knife edge all the time, and then even when stuff goes kind of like a bit averageness about it, and folk even get fed up of that. But I think when it comes to it, and you're talking, we've got obviously Dundee United Saturday, then St Mirren, you've got to be targeting 4 to 6 points for the 2 home games, you know what I mean? Because again, St Mirren's an air team that's fairly kind of kind to us in recent memory. And I agree with you, because if you're not coming at that and you're maybe picking up 1 point or even 3, we would take 3 now just to get off the mark, obviously, but I think they're the games that you definitely need to target to try and really get points on the board, so that you can absorb a defeat at Pittodrie, because we've got no given right to obviously go up there. Same way we've got no given right to beat anybody, but I think that if you're not picking up points in these games, then questions need to be asked. Aye,
well, that's it, man. You've got and there feels like big games. Dundee United obviously takes care of itself, and then St Mirren, you're really looking for probably 4 points out of them, I would say, minimum. Then I know Easter Road's no kind to us, neither is Pittodrie, so you've got to counter that with the wins. Then you've got that big cup quarter final to look forward to, and then a home game against Hearts, which has also got moved to the Saturday night. So it is, I do think it is a big run, and of those games, the easiest one in theory should be Saturday. So I do think 3 points is it's about, I would say, there's no such thing as must win until it's must win,
of course,
but come on, you've got to go and beat them on Saturday, I think, especially when they're not shooting in all cylinders either.
When I get us, but do you think that actually adds a wee bit extra pressure on us on Saturday?
I think there is a wee bit of pressure in the air, but I think that's a good thing. I think you want that. I don't think going into these games and it already being a bit wishy-washy, if you've maybe got 4 points on the board, you're already going, oh right, I think you need your feet to the fire a wee bit, particularly because of the start we've made defensively. I think it'll focus minds. I'm interested to see what the team is, as everybody is. Obviously folk get bored and you end up coming up with all sorts of formations and all that to see what you come in with. I'd be blown away if it wasn't the Diamond. I think the Diamond's here to stay, but I noticed that Gennaro Daniels got some minutes in a bounce game. I know that Yoni Meyer got some minutes. Ufeko's obviously the extra couple of weeks of training. What's your feeling on what kind of team we'll see on Saturday? Will it be closer to the team that we go with for the rest of the season?
I think it will be, and I think that will give us a good indication of what's here to stay and what isn't. But the same token, I do anticipate there probably will be a couple of changes. It's funny when you're saying that about folk getting bored and making teams, and I'm not a big fan of 3 at the back at all, but I've seen a few folk putting out a kind of 3-5-2 with Ringen, Sean and Larson as the wing backs, and I didn't mind the look at it. I goes, actually, with what we've got there now, that would actually probably lend itself quite well. But I just don't see us doing that. But I think actually out of the personnel that's there, that's maybe the system that suits us a wee bit better.
Well, if you were going to put what is the personnel of the 3-5-2?
So obviously Stryek in nets, and then McCarthy, Dees and Ufeko.
Right, okay.
And then Tishbola and Lowry in the middle, Larson in the left, Ring in the right, Kilt in the 10, still the 2 strikers up there.
I do like to see that.
Actually does kind of, it's pretty balanced with that. But again, we'll not play it. And I'm no one that's actually pretty big on kind of 3-5 at the back anyway, but actually I think the personnel that's there, they know that.
Well, you're getting a lot of the better players on the park, and you're also eliminating the issue at centre half there by giving you a wee bit extra wiggle room with a third centre back. I don't think we'll do that, but I do like that idea. Actually, I think it will be the same again in terms of the midfield four, which I think should be. I know folk are talking about O'Hara coming in. To me, Tish is a better football player than O'Hara, and you've got to give Tish the chance to get up to speed. You're going to have the ball on Saturday. I would still just lean towards Tish, Danny Singh there, Lowry Ring Kilty would be my four. I would love to see some changes at the back. I'd love Meyer to be fit enough to play left back and get Larsson out to right back. And I think the boy McCarthy will come in. I think he's ready. He's here to play. All the reports seem really positive. Him and Dees would be my pick.
Was going to say again, and I think we've got a question on it about the lack of experience centre half that's rolls off the tongue every week now. But I actually think that McCarthy seems like a good bit of business. He seems like somebody that's definitely like the kind of Luke Chambers ilk, like somebody that definitely is playing at a higher level. No, a squad filler here. Like he'll be coming and he'll improve us. And there's obviously plenty. Right, he'll obviously be really, really good in the ball, which suits the way that McCann wants to play, particularly when you're playing it for the back. Because Gainstanger, particularly towards the end of last season, was very good and the jersey was his, but I think at times he's been exposed, and I don't fully blame him for that. I think that it's, well, again, the way in which we've been set up, but I think sometimes looks a wee bit unnatural on the ball. But then at other times I think that he actually uses the ball relatively well. But I think it was even particularly that St Johnstone game, first game of the season, he had to play left centre back and he just plucked. Everything was needing to come back in on his right foot. Given that obviously Dees was suspended, but I think that having like McCarthy there, it's just a great obviously player for your Stryek to roll the ball out to him to really get things going and get the ball into the middle of the park.
Aye, interesting. And you'd go with Hugo and Tyrese up front. Tyrese got another week.
Well, everything that you've said about Tushbola there, I kind of aim that at John Jules as well, because there's no doubt there that there's an unbelievably talented football player there, and we've got to give him time to get back up to that, given what the injury issues that he's went through. But the same way, I do think that we're definitely trying to shoehorn him into the team now. But if it clicks, then things will be great, you know what I mean? And I think that his quality over there and can hurt like the likes of Celtic and all that, which we've even seen glimpses of again when we played them the other week. But I think that it will be the front two. And again, in the big thing that I spoke about with Hugo last week as well, that's obviously a huge positive, is that he's not really been in a lot of games, but he's still scoring goals.
He is. He's still in amongst it. It's a good sign. Big couple of weeks, mate. 2 weeks' time, we were sitting here the night talking about Kelly. Potentially, you maybe get 7 points. You've won your 2 home games and went and got a draw up at Pittodrie, which they're more than capable of doing. Or on the flip side, you could be sitting here with maybe 1 or 0 points. What's your instinct telling you? Where are we going to be in a fortnight, and we can play this back and expose you for the charlatan that you undoubtedly are?
I'll say we'll get 6 points.
6.
I think we'll be. I think we'll get back-to-back home victories, man.
Aye.
Which will be great as well. And even from a psychological point of view, and put things to rest about the park and all that as well. Knows if everybody's like, I see, like Celtic have played on it, you know what I mean? And of course, here spoke about that at length last week. But I think we'll get it right. We'll beat Dundee United on Saturday, and then we've got to carry that momentum into the St Mirren game. And again, it's one of them. I hate. Spoke about it so many times. You only need to look at the evidence of it for the Dundee Aberdeen Cup game, because Dundee battered them the week before, and then Aberdeen played them at Pittodrie and beat them comfortably in the Cup. I'm just like, I would, like everybody else, you would take a defeat Pittodrie to go through in the Cup. It's an absolute no-brainer.
Aye, I would take that too, mate. I would take that too. Aye, okay. What about the parking situation? Did you avail yourself of the information regarding that? I seen one of the local councillors put out a video. I didn't, but that wasn't what she meant.
It's aye, and
Jane's that her name?
Jane Sangster.
Aye, God bless her. She's tried to make it a Kelly friendly thing, and it backfired.
The video's no more.
Is it not even there anymore? Oh, I should have watched it more, man. I enjoyed it.
I know. So it's this is obviously an issue that's been spoke about for a few years now, and I don't well, it's not the right move. And again, they've obviously we've put it in the back burners a wee bit by saying, no, Ken, they're not planning to use that enforcement yet, but if they get X amount of complaints, then they're willing to carry it out. But it's just one of those that you've got to balance it up with everything, and I get like residents being there as well, but it even affects the residents because then they move. They can't park outside the front of their house. I mean,
well, Flecky had to move his car and all that, didn't he?
Flecky has to do that in Rugby Road, and obviously South Hamilton Street's the same, but you're like, in the same way, and I don't want to be that guy, but it's true, but we're a Kelly podcast, I'm like, if you buy a house next to a football ground, like you don't moan about the undersoil heating like back in the day, don't moan about the noise, don't moan about the traffic. That's what happens,
especially the traffic. Again, it doesn't affect me. I stay in the middle of the town, right, and we get folk parking near us all the time despite their signs being up, residents only and all that. It's a pain in the arse, but it's only for 3 hours on a Saturday. Do you know what I mean? Folk park at 1 o'clock and they're back in their car at 5:30, so they need to come up with something better than the red lines getting drawn in a fucking 2 mile radius round about the town. That's not the answer, man. But
what we don't get, and again, these are questions that obviously the MSP will be posing to the council in due course, but we're like, the council's already got like enforcement action there, but like the pavement parking and that now that's obviously been brought in, so you're like, don't really understand at this moment in time why they can't just use those, like for folk parking illegally. Folk parking illegally, they should be punished for it.
Aye.
But what's the damage of parking in a street and residential area near the ground if it's no blocking anybody's driveway, whatever? Like, because as you said, it's for that period of time. Then they go, and the big issue is, so you're either putting folk off, and then you take the risk of folk no travelling, which we need because the football club is, this is what we take. I mean, it's like ridiculously important for the entire town, whether like, folk try to deny that or no. It's an absolute fact. But it's also, again, I just think that you're then moving that issue elsewhere.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? So you're just, like, you're kicking the can down the road. You're not actually solving a problem that way, whereas you just keep it as it is, as it's always been. But again, to reiterate, folk illegally parking, then they should have enforcement action against that.
Can residents not get a permit that they put in their car?
So there's obviously talk of that been, again, brought forward, which would make so much sense. I mean, why would it, like, that's obvious, you know what I mean?
So it's not a million calls either. How many calls is it going to be? A couple of thousand maybe?
If that.
And you get them, and then you have a warden going about, and if you park like a dick, you get a ticket. And carry on, and you take the punishment. The whole support doesn't get the punishment. If you're driving for, Kelly fans drive down for Edinburgh and Glasgow, and obviously the Three Towns and Muirkirk and all that, like, how they, I mean, we're veering very quickly away into a political podcast here, but the transport in Scotland is like hilariously bad, I find, actually, like atrocious. So it's like, it's not even that to fall back on unless somebody's wanting to like totally. Why do you think? I think the club could do something. I think they could run a couple of wee buses.
Again, but then in fairness to the club, like, it shouldn't be their responsibility.
It shouldn't be, that's
because as it's so frustrating, and again, a lot of folk want to blame the council for everything. It's not always the case, but there's a lot of questionable things happening now with certain things going on, and folks' care packages and that been cut and all that. And it's no good at all. But again, there's a real risk that there's just not enough money, and it's frustrating. And you'll see that up in the country, all across the UK as well. It's no just it's Scotland's door, but I think that you're thinking, right, with all that going on, Ken, probably best to make a big deal out of this. I mean, like, actually, you're just making folk, immediately pissing off 5,000 folk. I mean, instead of then, and folk have obviously questioned whether some of the planning stuff with the training ground and that, folk are moaning about the council with that. But as far as I'm concerned, that all went to plan. Like, we're now in the training ground, which is good, but I just mean, we talk about easy wins quite a lot on this podcast with certain things. I'm like, that's like, council have just made an arse out of something that they didn't need to do.
Aye. Picked a fight that really wasn't there to be fought at that particular time.
Yeah.
Right. We'll get back onto the on-field stuff, I'm sure, with your questions on the X and on the KillyFC.com forums. We'll do that after the break, before which we're going to get some words from our very valued sponsors. Allied Surveyors have been carrying out valuations and home reports across Ayrshire and in Kilmarnock for over 20 years. Company director and lifelong Kelly fan Nick Davis is based here at 91 John Finney Street and is here to help you if you've got any questions or queries or are looking to get your home sold.
I'm Jim from Gemmell's Van Sales. We're a family-run business based down in Home Quarry Road in Kilmarnock. This business was started over 7 years ago from our house in Belfield, where I sold vans and we gradually grew and grew and grew upon year. We supply all makes and models from small, medium and large to transit tippers, to 4x4s, to Luton vans. If we don't have something in stock that you're looking for, we would be more than happy to source it for you as well. So if you're in the market for a van, drop down and see us at Home Quarry Road or give us a call in Kilmarnock 01563 657 870 or drop us a message on any of our social media platforms.
Huge thanks to Jim Gemmell at Gemmell's Van Sales, local business, doing great business. Go down and see him, Home Quarry Road, if you're in the market for a van. And Nick Davis of Allied Surveyors, who's submitted a question.
That's when you know, man.
This evening, on behalf of himself, not his workplace.
Yeah.
Hastened to add on the question.
I know,
so you can stay tuned for how controversial it is.
He had to caveat that. But and Nick was out and done my flat last week as well.
Oh, right.
So that's that. So hopefully up in the market in the next...
Care to share?
This week. What, the value?
Just how it all went.
Aye, well, obviously the guy's the pro, man.
Yeah, isn't he?
No issues whatsoever. So
good.
But aye, folk are interested. 2-bedroom flat in the town coming up.
There you go. Happy days, get in touch with the pod, man. We're on all the socials. Right, okay. We'll go to the KillyFC.com forums and we'll answer your questions. And we can answer them at a leisurely pace this evening.
I know, and it'll feel like we don't need to kind of rush through them and say, oh, we've covered that, mate. That's the next thing.
You'll get a full verbal and written response to all these ladies and gentlemen. We'll start with Big D's Ginger Laurie.
But is that on Twitter?
No, that's in the forums.
The forums? Oh, wait, I thought you said D's as in like...
Robbie Diaz.
Big D,
as in
Derek
Derek
McDickin. Just when I saw the picture, I goes, all right, whereas I thought that's a new name.
No. Which players from before you were born have you heard your parents or grandparents talk about and wish you could have seen play live?
Well, the two that stick out for me immediately comes no surprise. Tommy Burns. Sorry, Elsa. Getting Elsa. Despise Burns in the end. But aye, Tommy Burns, obviously, I've just spoke about how gifted. I would have even put Durant into that category because I just missed him. But other than that, and again, not as much my dad, but like older Kelly fans, Tommy McLean, like folk just saying like it was unbelievable. And what a winger and all the rest of it. So there's probably the ones I would point to. But funnily enough, for the man himself, Mike Dickin and Paul Clark and that, what a...
Eddie Morrison.
We spoke about that back four, well, the back five, including the goalie during that time as well. So, aye, they would be my choices.
Aye, well, my dad's a Tommy McLean guy. He was, so he would be definitely top of my list now.
Paul Heyman guy,
that's right. Vanilla Dijon gets in touch and says, evening, gents, as we have no game to reflect on this week, I have a more general, possibly philosophical and theological debate for you. What day do you consider as the start of the week, Monday or Sunday? This is a debate I've been having with my wife and her family and wanted your thoughts. Is it based on where you grew up? Me in Ayrshire, her in Lanarkshire. What school you went to? Me at a comprehensive, her at a Catholic school. Or is it just generational? Cal versus Monty? That's a wee bit upsetting. That's Cal versus Monty and Stu. Thank you very much. Both in our 40s. Right, what day of the week does the week start?
Well, I think the big clue's in what's called the weekend.
Right.
Whereby the week ends on Sunday.
What time does the weekend end? I ended late fucking for you last night in the Loudon I was hearing, man. Jesus, Callum.
Of which, by the way, bumped into Kelly fan legend Ian Burnett as well in there.
Top
Plenty
man.
of good things to say about the podcast.
I almost literally bumped into Annie for the Pyramid when I was driving to come and collect you.
But as
I had to let her out and let me in. And I rolled in my window and she went, see if I'd seen it was you, I'd have just crashed into you. So Ian, he was in the Loudon last night, was he?
He was so
Good
again, the pair of them were out, man, so I was like, they were enjoying their Sunday as well, but it was, folk probably tell him a wee bit kind of rough.
Slightly off the pace here, mate.
I've just not get the enthusiasm.
Nah,
I'm just...
I thought the 2 rolls and bacon in the Loudon here was a wee bit out of order. A big tin of iron brew. So what time does the weekend end?
Well, this is where the generational thing will come in. Have these like heartbeat on the telly and
and London's burning.
Kenning you were going to school the next day.
Terrible, I've not done my homework, man.
Bath's ready. So the weekend, that's it. It's like Sunday, 100%. Although, again, for me yesterday, I had an unbelievable Sunday. So do you dread or fear? That only happened this morning when I woke up.
Do you think it ends at 10 PM on a Sunday night?
No, I would go before that.
Aye.
That's why I say
Aye.
like 7, 8 o'clock.
Right.
That's you really. You're now like, right, work tomorrow.
Right.
School, uni, whatever.
Aye. Okay, I would agree. I think the week starts on a Monday morning.
Where the day is Vanilla Dijon committed to...
Neither, no. They've just put it out there for debate. So I appreciate it. Let us know, Vanilla. What do you think? I think the week starts on a Monday morning. LH31, if you had to choose between a happy life based on a lie or an unhappy life based on the truth, what would you choose?
I'm a realist, right? But you've got to take the happier life, haven't you?
Aye.
It's got to be, even if it was a lie.
I've got a very happy life, right? Very happy life. 2 really brilliant grown-up children who are doing great things in this world. A gorgeous wife with I'm deeply in love with. I've got great friends. I've got a job that I enjoy, hobbies that I like, but I'm living a lie.
What is the lie?
The lie will come out on the last episode of this podcast
Oh,
because I'm fucking sick watching this football team.
I want
to go and start watching Pollock. Aye, that's what I'm going to do next year when I don't need to do this anymore.
Tommy Sheridan, man.
Is he a Pollock fan too?
Aye.
Oh my, they were even better.
Aye.
Even better. Brother Tommy and me will be there, man.
The patter as well about folks saying that Sheridan apparently used to be a Rangers fan.
Oh, did he? Flip-flopped, man.
Which is a strange one.
What day of the week do you think Tommy Sheridan thinks it starts on?
There's one.
Depends who's asking, eh?
It does depend who's asking. I do like Tommy Boy. If it's
Aye,
softball.
fine, I can. Right, Confidemus 1869. Is Saturday a must win? We've kinda said that maybe is ish. Intrigued to see if the big German and the Hull lad make a difference to their defence. You think we'll start? Covered that one, Mikey boy. What do you got up to on your Kelly free weekend? I was forced to go in the annual whole family 46 of us.
That's insanity.
Day out to M&D's. So cheers Hibs. How dare you go through in Europe and cancel my get out for the family day out? 46 foot. I probably doubled the full capacity M&D's that day.
That's strong numbers.
Isn't it, man? Unbelievable. I don't think I know 46 folk. Never mind 46 family. What did you get up to on your Kelly free weekend? What did you do on Saturday?
Saturday. Oh no, I've got a Drury's 30th.
Aye.
It was really nice. So was supposed to be about the house for an appointment, but the person that was doing the appointment never turned up.
Right.
So frustrating. But and then went to Rory's bit, really nice, man. Out his mum and dad's back door, a few cans. Recruited Mick to come to Edinburgh, which was obviously a great addition, man. You know what I mean? Despite his antics, you heard about him on Saturday. Actually.
No, haven't you?
He ended up in a Nigerian wedding after Rory's, but in the Park Hotel.
Like it, mate.
Aye,
Excellent.
He went there for a pint himself before going up the road and just wandered into this wedding.
Into the wedding.
And obviously stuck out like a sore thumb.
Aye. And then you were at the festival yesterday. That's a full weekend, isn't it?
Aye, so no, I had a brilliant weekend.
Great, man.
Slightly suffering for it now.
Aye, good, okay.
What about you?
Saturday, what did I do on Saturday? Quite a quiet day. Spent some nice We watched, me and Faith watched Little Miss Sunshine. She'd never seen it before.
That's Steve Carell.
Steve Carell.
I've never seen it.
Wonderful, beautiful wee film.
So what, are you in the right frame of mind to watch things like that now?
Aye.
So you got to watch After Sun?
No, I'm not in the right frame of mind for that.
Why?
Because that's a teary one, I think.
Aye, but
I will come round to it. So we did that, and then Mel and I had dinner, and
we were in the house? Or
just in the house. Sunday I went, had a coffee with my friend, went out a run, done a 10k on Sunday, went to Tesco, come back and watched the Newcastle Liverpool game, which I enjoyed, as I've seen to you.
Well, Ken, what I done, I made the deal that I've made with myself every year, like the same way when I buy FIFA every year, thinking, right, I'm going to play the PlayStation, I'll do it, or it'll maybe give me an interest. I actually watched Match of the Day on Sunday morning, thinking, right, let's see what English football's got to offer me. Getting kind of lost interest, although despite having a soft spot for Man United, I did enjoy watching the kind of Hull Man U game. Just thought that was like, Ollie McBurney looked good, to be fair. Aye,
could be back in the fold. They never got in touch. Question for tonight. Last week after air, we said the most important thing was the result. Is this really true? Because Scotland under Clark, Kelly under McInnes, and other managers, when the football isn't easy in the eye, it's just not about the win, it's about the performance. So I ask you, is the phrase, the win is all that matters, a simple excuse that masks deficiencies in your side? Surely as a fan of football, over just being a fan of Kelly, the performance, team cohesion, and so much more matters as much as simply winning. What do you think of that?
It's a tough one. For me, I'm a results guy. And it depends what you define as success, though, as well. You know what I mean? Like, when it comes to it, like, if I don't know, Rangers don't know for example, they would obviously take one in the league.
Yep.
The way, regardless whether they beat somebody 4-0 or beat them 1-0, like. But I get, as we spoke about earlier, even when stuff like that becomes the norm, then people get fed up with it. Like, look at Brendan Rodgers at Celtic and all that, and
look at Alan Curbishley at Charlton.
aye, but then he kind of reinvented himself at West Ham. He got a better move off the back.
Charlton were but Charlton fans were sick of him.
Aye.
And because they were finishing 7th and 8th in the Premier League every year. Just shows you, mate.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
But what about you?
I had an argument with Tom English about this. If you remember last year when we were talking about the kit, and he was he corrected me. He asked me my opinion on something, and I gave it, and he corrected me because I was like, oh well, like it's not just the when you support a team like Kelly, it's not just about the points and the board. It's like you want to go and enjoy the games. And he was like, no, Paul, you want results. At the end of the day, you want results. And I was about like, oh right, well why the fuck did you phone me then? You know what I mean? I was sitting in my house quite happy. It was you that phoned me to ask me to come on and talk about Kelly. The other way around about. So I was like, no, well, because under Kate, I was like, there's no style. Like, if there's style there, you can maybe absorb some bad results.
No, well, that's where it comes down to it. Like, exactly that example, because Ketwell wasn't getting the results, therefore, like, had to go because you weren't seeing anything.
Anything at all.
Whereas, even the now, where like the likes of like what we're seeing with McCann, you're like, they're definitely, as you said, the games are 100% better. Like, they're definitely far more enjoyable. Are entertaining for that matter, but the same way, if you keep still seeing the same mistakes being made week after week, that becomes a frustration. And again, we always go back to the Mixer thing. That was the perfect example of, and I don't remember anybody ever really panicking, because I remember we were at Ibrox first game of the season when they were champions, and we were really good, you know what I mean? And then there was a couple of decent performances, and again, folk even forget that, like, we were like, it's not through the Halloween, like, we played Celtic at Rugby Park and we were really like the betters 2-1. Like, you were definitely seeing something was got to come, and then it did eventually just click. But with the likes of Kettlewells, when you get two good results back to back, when you beat St Mirren at home and Dundee United away, which we're just talking about as the most gimme Kelly games they know is what you'll get. Like, that's not enough to mask like the other 15 games of shite.
Aye, I think we can have both. But ultimately, I suppose it comes down to, see if you're like, oh, we win the Scottish Cup, I mean, but we're shy, but we win every game 1-0 with an own goals. Like, but then again, would I take 8th and enjoying the games, our 5th and winning shitely? I don't think it's dead easy to pick.
It's tough when it's Kelly as well, because like, we're not used to winning, you know what I mean?
We don't really get the luxury of that choice, really, I suppose.
Exactly, so I think that it's different when it's the likes of like one of the city clubs, like when you definitely do see that with the likes of Aberdeen, folk are saying, oh, be careful what you wish for with McInnes and that, but you're like, they probably did want something just a bit of freshness kind of thing, like, because they knew that. But whereas the likes of us, like, if we end up finishing top 6 for 6 years in a row, then you say, right, we want to see more. But when we don't get, as you said, that luxury, like, you're like, well, you win games at Kelly, then that's a success.
You're winning. Changing Man gets in touch. You like that song, Changing Man, Paul Weller? Do you know what?
Aye.
It's a good song. I like Paul Weller's solo stuff more than the Jam. Don't like the Jam. I don't like the Who. Never get into the Who.
I hate the Pebbles and the Beach song, Broken Stone.
Oh, do you?
Despise it.
Oh, I really like that song, man.
Don't know why. Just always hated it. Dad had it. One of his tapes, man. Like, but then folk always just singing the Howard karaoke and that. And it's like,
I like that song.
I like Paul Weller though, obviously.
Just seen the transfer window is set to close at the early time of 5 p.m. on Thursday, 3rd of September. I'm sure Cal will be pleased in his new role not to have to wait until midnight to find out if the next Tom Wilson Brown's paperwork has been completed on time. But is this not another games gone example? 5 p.m. finish, weird. What are your plans, if any, for covering deadline day? So how will that look for you now that you're involved with the Chronicle?
Obviously some stuff's been frustrating because we've had a couple of like decent, more so about players leaving, but we didn't get the green light to go and run with it, and then Airfolk go at them and stuff like that. So it's probably been, and then Gaby and I have kind of like, I've been able to get some of the info and then sent it to Gaby, and Gaby's done a lot of the pieces and all that for that, because, well, he's a stand-up guy, as everybody knows, when he was in here.
He was great in here.
But given that's actually like, he's a journalist, so like, covers both, but he's always good at being able to find the time to do the chronicle stuff, even when stuff comes out like that. Whereas that's what I'll say, it can be a bit of a struggle for me because I've got another 2-3 jobs to kind of worry about on top of that, you know what I mean? So, so we'll obviously come up with something for deadline day, but it actually does suit a lot better that it's 5 o'clock, but that kind of takes part of the fun away. But the same way, it's not like what it used to be like before Sky Sports then completely made a mockery of it, and then it turned into that. But I'm surprised they went back. But I still will stand by best deadline day ever, man. January 2011. I was off the school that day, and then it was when Torres went to Chelsea,
right?
And Andy Carroll went to Liverpool. I remember texting everybody at school saying Torres has got to Chelsea. They're like, aye, no chance. I was like, because against a full social media.
Breaking the news back then, mate. Breaking the news at the cages in the Jaws.
And then still that was after the cages, of course.
Was it?
Because that was the last first years in the old building, the first year of the new building. Because we moved over in like April.
Right.
So I got both.
Did you get both schools? Aye, cool, man.
Got both.
Unique.
Had both. But it was good. But then my favourite deadline. Well, transfer stories, of course, me making up the Daniel Cousin,
aye,
which was sensational. And again, somebody had to phone Barry Ferguson and asked him if it was true.
And that creeps up every year.
Does that? I'll never know share it, man.
Killie Blues, what are your thoughts on the likely progress of David Watson, Bobby Wales and Ruben Cooper since their moves, and the lack of progress of previous youngsters leaving the club, with the exception of Matt Kennedy? Do you think that we will ever see youngsters being encouraged to stay a couple more years before they move? So I noticed that Watson's not got off the bench for Bolton. I've been keeping an eye on that. Wales is obviously back up now at Dundee. I've no idea what's Ruben Cooper's doing. It's the way it is. It's a real black mark against Scottish football at the minute. Do you know what I think the thing is? Ultimately, whether they're young or old, right, I get it, you're getting flashed cash in front of you, short career, blah 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 blah. Don't need to go through the positives of making a move to a team in England and getting 3 times your wage, clearly, right? But you know what I think? Just the vibe has shifted too far the other way. And obviously since the 60s and 70s, players were leaving Kelly to go to West Ham and down to England and Celtic and Rangers. What's wrong with being a Kelly player? What's wrong with playing with Motherwell for 6 years? It's like that I was chasing something. Whereas I just feel like there was a time, maybe in the 80s, 90s, maybe even the early 90s, like, can you tell me Freddie Dindaloo didn't get offered more money somewhere else? But it seemed to be like, actually, I'm doing all right here. Right. Like the lifestyle. I'm playing every week. I'm not going to go and be a millionaire somewhere. I'm going for an extra 1,500 quid a week. I'll just stay. And it just seemed like nobody, like, for example, right, there's a few players that have moved on for Kelly over the last 3 or 4 seasons that I'm a bit like, why just stay at Kelly? Look at Kyle Vassell, he's not got a club, right? And I know we split opinion, but he was club captain. Sure, I just think 15 years ago Vassell goes and signs another 2 or 3 year deal and is now maybe a bit part player, but he knows the club, he gets it. But it's like they can't wait. No, I want another payday, I want an extra bit of money, I can go there. Tish's another example. Signs a 1 year deal, been around the world twice, played at the World Cup. Like, just be a Kelly player. It's honestly, it's a gig. Go and get $2,500 a week or whatever it is to be adored, be a big club in Scottish football with a chance to maybe win a cup, to maybe play in Europe. I just feel like they're all too desperate to move, and I do get it, the money and the prestige of a bigger club, but I think rather than just young players, they all seem a wee bit that way to me.
Well, yeah, it's done really well. I agree with every word that you've said there, but I think that it's a sign of the times, and it's because of the ridiculous amount of money that floods through the game in England. Like, it's just, that's what I'm saying, football's far too globalised now anyway, although ironically that's like well, the reason we're losing young players is generally is Brexit. Like, that's why, because they'll take players for Scotland and that now because they can't get like work permits and that for
French players,
17, 18, 19 year old boys and for Europe. But I completely agree with you, but it's just the fact now, like, where like Tish potentially getting a move to Boatmen Championship or Top League One in England, like 20 years ago, like there wasn't as big a jump. Like, exactly. We'd be like, why would I go to Lincoln, man? Like, you know what I mean? Like, Kelly are a bigger club, in fact, but now Lincoln can offer you 2 or 3 times what Kilmarnock can offer you, and it's just like, and it's so depressing, man. And it's like, it's why, like, when teams do get their recruitment right, you've like got to give it, but it's like when you're just seeing all these guys, man, moving up for guys are playing like Harrogate and all of that, and then signing for Motherwell, St Mirren, and you're just like,
Aye, can be a bit grim, can't it?
It is, but I completely agree with you. And long gone are the days now where and that's what, see, for me, that's actually the biggest issue. And I keep referring back to the city clubs now. Hearts is a different kettle of fish altogether because at least they've got more going on behind the scenes. But see, Dundee United, Hibs, Aberdeen, I'm like, there's just no identity to the clubs anymore. See, Dundee United, man, same every summer.
Don't recognise any of the players.
Sign 12 guys for Europe, man, and like they're probably 6 out of 10s, but I'm like, they're really better than some of the guys cutting about here. Like, they at least, and like, and they're as you said, but they would jump at the chance to go back and play in Poland for an extra £1,500 a month or whatever, and you're just like, no identity whatsoever, and I think that's really sad.
It is, man. Dillinger says, inspired by our Kelly free weekend, if Kelly ceased to exist tomorrow and you had to take up a new Saturday afternoon hobby, how would you fill your time? You'll be soft play and all that, mate.
I've got that to look forward to, exactly, man. I don't know. Like, again, I always moan that. Again, I hate to say that because I'm like, everybody's busy, but I don't know, I really am busy. And it's like,
you are, mate, aye.
And I could be doing with probably an extra day of the week if there was one going. Get the weekend in and a new day. But I think that I don't know. I probably just kind of don't know. Like going at the pictures and that.
I think I'm gonna start watching Pollock.
I know, that's what you told me, Sheridan.
I've already, me and Tommy are going to go.
You told me Sheridan, George Galloway.
I don't know. I feel like I think you could manage. I just feel. Do you know why I think? I'm talking more specifically the Saturday afternoon stuff here, rather than like being out with Kelly. Obviously, Kelly would be a massive miss, right? But like, I just feel like Saturdays, it was such it was so ingrained that it was a 3 o'clock Saturday, and noon again you get a midweek game, or we're playing on a Sunday. I just feel like the whole rhythm of a Saturday's off anyway. You know what I mean? Feels like a different thing.
It's completely away, but it's funny because the only thing I can compare it to is the Not a Penny More era, and I was still going away from home every week, but I then found that like you do find like out the habit, and it was kind of novelty at the beginning because of what you were doing, like the protest and that. But then when you were really shite as well, you're thinking, what are you doing? Like, you're like, and then you were just going, and you're thinking, I was away just the Howard every Saturday, like couping on pints, and you're like, this is sometimes better than.
That's what I mean. I feel like the rhythm of Saturday's out of whack anyway.
But there'll be folk going nuts at us saying that because there'll be folk that travel Kelly up and down. Which is admirable, but again, I've done it myself as well. But I just think that sometimes there is merit in life, man.
Aye, there can be. Kelly Nice, we've turned down 150k for Stanger apparently. How much do you want for him? 155. That'll do.
My understanding is that he probably will go, but fair play to the club. They've obviously got a figure in mind. What that is, I don't know, but you'd presume must be in the kind of 200,000 to 300,000 bracket. If they're turning down that, because I thought he would have maybe been away by now. But I think that's one of them. It's the question that we got last week. You're thinking that'll be what Stanger, Thompson, Dackers.
Aye. I know. Fair play. Man. Fair play. The kit was a genius. Nobody could see it at the time.
But aye, so I don't know. But I think that it's one of those where, despite us just saying, "Oh, what's wrong with being a Kelly player?" But when we're in a position where we get offered money for somebody, I'm like, you can't really afford to turn it down.
I think so. We'll be interested. You think you'll go the way? Is that what you're?
My gut instinct, aye.
Aye, will go. Right, Dargo86 says, hello guys, hope you enjoyed your free weekend of football. I've got a few questions. Do you think we'll see O'Hara and Tish start this Saturday?
Just because of the shape, man.
No.
But although I think that O'Hara could cover, and it kind of worked to some extent, one of the, I was going to say pre-season Premier Sports Cup games, where he played like that kind of right of the diamond, and he filled in for, I think Ring was playing right back anyway, so anytime he went, it was a easy. That's what we spoke about with the likes of Larson. Like, it's alright, let him go, but have somebody there to cover him, and O'Hara could potentially be that guy. But I do think, despite, I completely agree with you, and it's obviously no disrespect to O'Hara, but you're like, Tish is obviously a better football player. Like, there's no doubt about that. But we need more than that now as well. Like we need guys that and know as if O'Hara's a very good player as well. But I mean, when it comes down to technical ability, Tish is probably the most technical gifted player in the team, or up there. But I just mean, I think that we still need somebody like that, and I think O'Hara showed that against Derry, completely changed the game. He
was brilliant, wasn't he? And he also asked, are you excited to see the new centre back, McCarthy, in action? I've heard he's a baller. I think he will start. And he also asked, Whopper or a Big Mac meal?
Big Mac every day of the week.
It's years. I wouldn't normally have a Big Mac either, but I certainly had a Big Mac since I've had a Whopper. Can't remember last time I had a Whopper.
What would you get from McDonald's ordinarily?
Quarter pounder.
Huh?
Cheese.
Interesting.
You?
Like McChicken sandwich, man.
Aye, chicken from McDonald's.
Extra meal, man.
Interesting.
Good. But they also used to do, and this obviously sounds like utter greed, man, because that's how bad it is. And Alison was saying this, and now she's particularly with how she's feeling at this moment in time. She's desperate for them, but used to do a triple cheeseburger, man.
Aye, I remember it very
And
well.
They were so good, man.
Aye.
You get, and then add your extra tomato sauce and mustard to it.
Kind of ridiculous, innit?
It is, and it's bad days when they've taken it away and you're like, no, need that. But so it's only the double cheeseburgers that are going now, but the triple cheeseburger was good.
Excellent, there you go. Right, okay, we'll go over to the X and answer the questions here. Your name, your number gets in touch. Says not a point or a question regarding the fixtures, but a huge thanks to the Kelly Pods for inviting me along to KellyCon. You're welcome, man. You've done such a good job.
Right.
I was very proud to display my Kellystrations and chat to fellow Kelly fans about our threads and memorable moments throughout the years. So he was selling the brilliant prints that he does, and I think they're all out to order. I've
actually got one in the car as well, which I don't know if it's somebody's or not, because it just ended up in, right, and I should have brought it actually just to display, but I've not even got my car because you picked me up tonight. Same with obviously Fallon Monroe's Marie Osmond, but you were freaking out about that, weren't you? The record.
Aye.
Wait, you liked it, but it felt like it was going to fall out all the time.
It put me off.
So you were sitting like that, side-eyeing it all the time, but maybe just get it like flat.
Just like it down here. Your name, your number, give them a follow. Brilliant Kelly illustrations. Boz Bust gets in touch. Righto, Mr. Paul. What is your running routine? How did you work up to 13k and how many runs a week do you do? Most importantly, what's in your playlist? You're Prodigy, Oasis, Eminem, Ibiza Dance, or Luke Combs kind of guy. I bet you're an Oasis kind of guy. Happy running.
Oh, I want to know who Boz Bust is. Do you know who it is?
No. Do you?
But it must be somebody. Or have you been putting that on your Twitter as well?
No.
So you must know you on
Must be
Instagram.
somebody. I need to do the what is it, Colleen Rooney hang? Where he step blocking everybody. It was Rebecca. It's Rebecca Vardy.
That's exactly.
So I worked up to 15k last week, Boz Bust. Which I'm not a runner. You might be able to tell me my physical appearance. I've never been. I was quite a strong runner as a teen, and then Guinness, all that carry on happened. But I've just
Jamie Kimmett used to motivate you to run
he
faster,
did.
didn't he?
Aye, he did. That was an interesting motivation technique. The 5. So I just in April, because it was a nice day, I was like, I'm going to try and run because I turned 40 and all that, and I've just no stopped, and now I've got up to 15k last week. I do three runs a week as long as I can. So I've done 11, 12, 13,
So do you always just
15.
your like the tank is empty?
No, the tank isn't empty. That's what I'm excited about. But I just go right. I'll just push a wee bit further. See how I go. I try and do, and then I try and do a 10k and I try and do a 5k. So that's what I've been doing.
So, well, really good.
I've run 70k this month so far.
Admirable, man.
And music wise, I don't listen to music.
I think that's insane. Oh, do you listen to a podcast?
But I listen to
You
an
were raw
audio
dogging
book.
it?
I was raw dogging it to start with, but I run too fast with music. I can't get my pacing right, and I knacker myself after 2k. So I just listen to an audio book or a wee podcast.
That's definitely. I know that I was even. Like, the numbers you're doing are ridiculous now, but before my injury, I found a kind of enjoyment out of running, and definitely realised that a audiobook or pod's actually one of the best things you can listen to. Because when it's music anyway, you're constantly like, oh, that song's 3.5 minutes, that song's 4.
Aye.
Skip. Whereas if you're just kind of tuning into a conversation or a story, it's a lot better. But I've started the couch to 5k again. So
Good, man.
So I done it
Your
today,
rehab.
despite being rough, man.
But no, I'm not a fast runner. I've seen Samo actually when I was out running on Sunday. Samo runs. He is a runner. As are quite a few folk listening to this, including your brother.
Aye, John. Aye,
He's
done
done a
his
phenomenal
half
challenge.
marathon yesterday. Done.
So I'm going to go and run a few kilometres with him as well. Yeah.
Aye, good.
Thanks for the question, man. I want to know who it is.
Well, there's a few folk as well, good Kelly fans that donated to John's fundraiser, which I really appreciate. So wouldn't have expected that. So thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Martin Wall gets in touch. Wee Willie Winkies is a no-no for me. Most importantly, does Mark O'Hara deserve a start at the weekend? We've discussed the O'Hara stuff, and the Wee Willie Winkies stuff went viral, man. They've reported a 9% rise in their stocks.
But it's funny, it's we're neither clearer about it. Because there's many folk that say no chance, and there's other folk that are saying what he's talking about.
It's the Kyle Vassell of snacks, man. But some folk rate it, some folk don't. Slash Bandicoot gets in touch. Lee, I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised by McCarthy and experience perhaps, but this boy's a cut above. That's what we like to hear. The real Boydie served Super Ali the other night in my work. The rumours are true. A lovely, lovely guy. With that said, you boys ever bumped into a former Kelly player at a pub? I also bumped into Kelly legend Callum Waters and Kitty O'Shea's a couple of months ago.
I like that, man.
I met Tom Black, obviously, in a pub, which led to him being on this very podcast.
You knew he signed Hugo Boss track, yeah?
I did. Super Ali, does he mean Ali Macho, I assume?
Nah, I think he's talking about the main man.
I think he's talking about the other one.
Aye.
The not so super one. You obviously met Slaney in that the other day, and Kevin Kyle, he's been bombed out, man.
He's not being in it.
Kevin.
So, Matthew was talking to him. I kind of went up quickly and just said hi, but then ended up arguing about Steve Clark, so I was like, I was too wrecked to put up with that. So I was
Did you any other players you've ever met in a pub?
Well, I met James Forrest in Dublin, didn't I?
Aye, that's right, bought my shirt.
Andy's Brer. They get skinned at for €88 or something like that, man. Aye, been a few. And obviously, it's been good to have Alan Mahoods come down and just had a pint with me in the pub, which is
class, mate.
Definitely good. What about you, Dales?
I met Kyle Lafferty in a nightclub. I've got a video. Me and him. In fact, I've been up, I'll not show that. It's not very nice at the end. Nick Davis gets in touch with this year's sponsor, particularly the home shirt, being so visually fucking hideous. The opinion of myself and not my work. Should Kelly offer the option of a sponsorless shirt like some others do and like they did back around 2001?
It's one of them. I mean,
should they? Yes. Will they? No.
No. Exactly. I think that particularly when it comes down to that, like getting just too much money at stake in it for like them. Like, they would probably devalue the sponsorship deal anyway.
I don't think the sponsorship was that bad this year. It was all blue.
No, because I thought
is it more the H thing?
I think that's maybe
the bar.
Maybe getting folk because I think in fair play to them because they've changed their
colours.
Their colours. James Frew, to be fair to them. So Nick's maybe been a wee bit overly harsh there, man.
The Brownings wasn't he great? I don't know when you see it now.
Terrible, man. That was awful in the
great sponsor for Kelly, but they could have done something better with the front.
Aye, wasn't it?
80 Mage, you'll never beat that. That was classic, great colours.
It's just like the ultimate, innit?
Brilliant, worked perfectly.
But so again, maybe been overly harsh. But again, I would say that it would be quite cool. There'd be so many taps that look actually better without sponsors as well. But I just think particularly for Kelly, they would just wouldn't happen.
It's a pipe dream, Nick.
You see all this, we actually need to do something. I said about obviously getting Brown on the pod anyway, but did you see like the tap and that he was wearing the Kelly corner?
Aye, and I've seen a thread about it that he's got some like one-offs and prototypes and stuff. We need to get Kelly Kits on here too. Somebody said about that. Somebody suggested that actually, which is a great idea. That would be brilliant. But I did see that.
That was exactly it, and I think he was cutting about one. Maybe their game as well when I seen the picture, and I was like, Jesus, I'd never seen that. Like, it's just like.
Remember, I thought I saw a prototype tap in the cup final. Maybe Brown had it on.
There you go.
Me and Craig Robinson were talking about that.
There you go.
Interesting. Gunnar Vance, most handsome man in Europe, says, with the parking debate during the week, how far would you walk on a pishing Wednesday night to go to a game of football? Also, it's the next upgrade for the stadium you'd like to see. Scoreboards like Tynecastle would take it up a notch. How far would you walk?
Well, to be fair, again, despite the physique, actually, I enjoy walking. Because I've always, when I stayed in Belfield and then the tuna, I always walked about anyway, because I never passed my driving test about 2.5 years ago. But the walking doesn't bother me at all.
No.
I would always, in particular when I stayed in the tuna, it was ideal. I would walk to and from all the Kelly games, never take it off.
Part of the charm, actually, I think.
Like it, man. I used to walk in, headphones, listen to sports sound and
I miss walking to the games with Taylor actually when he was a wee boy, getting the buzz and all that, and having a chat in the wide in. Leave the house about 2 o'clock and walked in.
Class,
brilliant, man. So it didn't bother me. What would you do? To upgrade?
Scoreboards are always a thing, innit?
Would be nice. Aye.
Where you think
a few leaks in the roof, man.
Well, the PA system.
That would be my shout. Aye.
PA system.
Stu would not stand for that fucking PA system, man. Get Stu in to sort it all out.
Do everything, man.
Alan Agnew gets in touch and says, no gripe this week, but I have a question for you both. Wee Willy Winkies are brilliant, so come on, Cal, try them. I had 2 rolls the other day with tomato sauce dripping down my face. Pure dead brilliant. Ryan J gets in touch. Where is our experienced centre back? TJ needs to get fit. Great player, just looks like he's carrying a fridge on his back. A fridge full of Wee Willy Winkies. Rangers have a few fringe players any you would take. So I see Rangers are getting rid of Connor Barron and Lyle
See, they've turned
Cameron.
down Hibs apparently.
Oh, have they? Right.
Because Hibs were obviously offered them, like, and then they've said no.
No.
Which things will get better than that? No, they're obviously holding it for go to Lincoln or something. Like that.
Aye, they get the big box in there. I don't know. Centre half, John Suter, take him on loan.
Try, that'd be unbelievable, wouldn't it?
Easy. There you go. Solved the problem
Big
for Faith.
Sophie, man.
Vicky Black says, happy birthday, Stu. Do you think our defence will be able to keep a clean sheet this season? Do we throw the new guys into the defence on Saturday?
I think McCarthy. Well, I think that he does seem like, again, I would love him to be 10-year-old. But it's obviously not the case. But I think that he genuinely is like, despite it's not what I was initially looking for.
Yes.
I do think that he will be good. I think
Chrissy Ayer vibes.
Ayer vibes. Aye.
I think we might get a clean sheet on Saturday. There you go.
Oh, how good would that be?
We 1-0 would do is just the ticket, wouldn't it?
It would,
lovely.
It would be brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Alessandro Boscanero, who is many things, but he's certainly no Italian. Do you think McCann will change the lineup and throw in the new boy and the German? What's the worst that can happen?
Aye, I think that, again, maybe I'm not too sure about Maya yet. But I mean, it could. I said anything could happen, but I just think McCarthy will play.
He'll play. Kevin gets in touch. When can I stop fretting about our defence? It feels like the new guys are being given a bit of a make it or break it situation. Aye, it does feel a wee bit like that. They're either going to come in and solve the problem or the problem's not getting solved. Should we still sign another centre back? Do you think if Stanger goes, somebody else comes in?
Surely.
Aye,
Like,
they need to, won't they?
and because I think there's the light there anyway. And I think that if he goes, then you've got to bring somebody in.
Aye. And the last question is from Mark Robertson. Do you think enough time is spent in training on our defensive shape and how players should cover each other? 2 home games in 4 days, it's 4 points, the bare minimum return. I definitely think more time in the training ground will have helped, mate. Definitely agree with that. Don't think it would have done any harm in figuring out the shape, because it is quite complex, I'd imagine. And I would totally agree with that. 4 points is the minimum we should be aiming for between now and the end of the St Mirren game next Wednesday night.
That's what I think. I agreed with that, man.
Spot on, Marco. Anything else? All that does?
There's a lot of things I want to say, but
You don't feel like you can say them.
nah.
You're amongst friends, mate. You're amongst me, Sean McSkimmon, Hookie, Bobby Williamson,
Stu,
Tommy Sheridan. He's here in spirit. Aye, right, okay, we'll wrap it up there, everybody. Nice and sedate this evening.
On that, just sorry when I thought
I just thought of something, right?
again, completely different. I think it was just going down the Tommy Sheridan rabbit hole here again. See, John Mackay's going on Scottcast.
Oh, is he? Or the BBC?
Aye.
Wow.
Tasty.
Aye.
Aye, he's one of the good guys, man.
Aye, well, if John Mackay can make the jump, the STV News to Scottcast and BBC, there's time for you and I to get onto Open Goal yet, son.
Well,
Right.
I've been on it.
Very good.
Been on it twice.
Very good. Very good. Showing off. Right. Put it there. Thanks everybody for listening. We appreciate it. Thanks for the questions. We'll be back to our normal busy selves next week. I've enjoyed that. The night's been nice and chilled. It's been lovely.
Hasn't it felt like we've had to race against the clock or anything like
No,
that?
and you're a wee bit kind of rough anyway after your exploits yesterday.
I could go a bit better in the second half.
What did you have to drink yesterday? What was your favourite pint?
Well, I taken a selection of beers the way up. So I had a can of Sapporo,
Right.
I had Mahu, a Mal, I think Menabrea, can of Menabrea. Remember
Right.
we were on here, I was like, but somebody got me them as a gift, so they were about
Right, okay.
train beers.
Aye.
And then it was tenants in the venue, and then I was drinking. I made a conscious decision, not that it done me any good, right enough, but when we met in Kitty's before getting the train, because we were meeting point in the city centre, I opted for a cup of pint of Prava instead of Starapram.
Right.
I think, it's a bit lighter,
Of course.
but didn't do it any good.
No,
And then
no. Did you have a Guinness at all?
Nah,
No.
I know in the it was too sunny.
Aye, it's no ideal Guinness weather.
So that's what I said to you, I said I'll be drinking Guinness. Well, maybe if I've got the opportunity to come October.
Aye, once the clock's changed, it's Guinness season. Right, we'll wrap it up there, mate. Thank you everybody for listening. Thanks for asking questions and sharing the podcast. We see every comment, we love every comment, we appreciate it. And if you see us at the game, come up and say hi. And hopefully we're celebrating some points on the board when we get back together next Monday night. Alright, have a good week everybody. Take it easy.